we talked about Jrue Holiday being moved and former Sixers point guard was our last All-Star before Embiid and Ben Simmons. So I thought that was he was such a badass. But obviously everyone's talking about us potentially going to get him. This could be the perfect guy to get with James Harden wanting out. Maybe do a 3-team deal, send Harden to Clippers. We can get Jrue from Portland. But now I'm seeing Shams yesterday said that going into the weekend, this could be a deal done by media day because both sides want to move fast. Now we're seeing reports now by Kyle Neubeck. Sixers continue to pursue veteran guard Jrue Holiday in talks with the Portland Trail Blazers. Sources told Philly Sports on Friday, but their ability to secure services was viewed as increasingly unlikely based on how the market is unfolding heading into the weekend. So some mixed stuff here last few
Which
days.
means there's better offers.
Yeah, that's a so obviously if we can get a deal done, obviously big if now, seeming unlikely. How do you see Jrue potentially fitting in with the 76ers deal? Obviously assuming that Harden is a part of this deal. How would you see Jrue's fit on this team?
I think it would be seamless. Personally, you have a guy that can come in and be the primary defender. He can run your team. He can play off the ball. He great size, good leadership, good locker room guy. I think you'll put him in position to solidify your group on the, like I said, the defensive presence and team standpoint that can allow Maxey to be more of a aggressive scorer, and Joel to score more aggressively. I think from that standpoint, it really, really helps. I mean, James, I don't think he necessarily can make the plays and average the assists that James did, but that's really not his game. But I think that he could make the plays. I think he can make the plays, and I think he can run the team. He's just not more of a hold it the whole clock and make a play and get that assist. More so to set it up and kind of run the offense. But yeah, I would love to have Jrue. I would take Jrue to fill James if James wants out and we were able to get Jrue. I would be extremely excited about that.
We talked about this months back, right? So I think we just brought up good fits with this team. And Jrue was like the ideal guard to put like next to Maxey.
Never thought it was even like possible.
Yeah, I never thought. Yeah, the Bucks
like they would never send him to Philly. It was more so like Milwaukee wouldn't send him to Philly. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily he wouldn't come. But
but he can play point, set up others, play tough defense, guard the other team's best offensive guard. He can rebound, catch, and shoot. He can play pick and roll. He can. He's a good leader. He's a good locker room guy. He's got good size. I know people have been knocking him for analytic reasons. His true shooting isn't great the past few years. His playoff 3-point percentage goes down a bunch lower than his regular season split. The fact that Butler got the best of him, as if like Butler didn't get the best of anyone that was guarding him this year.
I mean, Butler is also a guy that he shouldn't be guarding too.
Yeah, but people, that's why it's even more unfair.
I'm just saying, like when they were playing them, I was saying to myself, like that's the guy he should not be having to guard 1-on-1. Jimmy's what 6'7", like he shouldn't.
At least not all game.
Not like exclusively.
Yeah, no, yeah.
There's just no presence. Jimmy's just going to raise up. There's really nothing that Jrue can do. Like I didn't get that. Like I really didn't.
I can make a case for Giannis guarding him as much as Jrue guarded him.
I don't think Giannis. I think that was the hard part about Jimmy was like their best two defenders really shouldn't be guarding him. Middleton was the guy that shouldn't be guarding him, and he couldn't.
He's right in the middle of that size between those two.
Jrue. I mean, Jrue would give a better shot than Giannis. I mean, Giannis is probably a guy you can switch on him, but you can't put Giannis on him. He'd run Giannis over one pick and roll. That's just a switcher. He's not getting over.
Mm-hmm. As far as fit though, that's who you want, right? He averaged 2 less points than Harden last year, 3 less assists than Harden, and the last 3 seasons he's shot 4 percentage points higher from 3. I think he'd be perfect for this team. The other major questions besides fit I came up with, is Jrue worth completely abandoning the cap space plan for next year? Because if you get him, you forget about all that like max stuff.
I think it is. I think if you can get a guy like that helps you within the next 2 to 3 years, try to give you your best chances to win the championship, I would say yes. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not sold on us being able to get a free agent. Like you hear the rumors of New York's definitely going to get a star player. Like you hear that. You don't hear that about Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. So
that was my next question.
Until it happens, I don't have the confidence that we can go get a major free agent from somewhere else. Until it happens. I don't know where a guy's going to give up. A guy of that status is going to give up money. Most likely where they're coming from, they could get more. Give up that money and come to Philly. Especially with the rumors, quote unquote rumors that Joel could be leaving. Like, who would do that?
You have to overpay him compared to what he might make with his team.
That's what I'm saying. But you overpaying like a guy that's going to get the max where he's at. Like, how? Most of those guys that we're talking about are going to have offers for more where they are.
Yeah. So that was
it has to be a situation like LeBron and Bosh where they're like just going and knowing they're getting less and they're taking less.
Yeah,
knowing they're getting on the back end. I'm not saying LeBron and Bosh status, but I'm just saying like you have to leave giving up money. Who's done that recently? Kevin Durant. But look where he went.
Yeah, that's different too.
Yeah, but who else? Kevin Durant did it again going to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really does that.
Yeah. I mean, Harden did that with us, but we see where that led.
Yeah, but he didn't come to us as a free agent.
No, I know. Yeah, I know. But he chose, the 2-year deal.
Yeah, he chose relationships, and we see where that went.
Yeah, never again. The other question I had is we kind of answered it. Is he better than anyone we could sign next offseason? Is he better than anyone we could trade for? Levine comes to mind. Buddy Hield, I guess, comes to mind because of the situation he's in with not getting.
Yeah, I mean, it's some guys that we can trade for, but
would you rather have Jrue or Levine, Eric?
Levine.
Really?
Because of age?
Yes. The age and moving forward. And Jrue has gone public with the end of his deal. He could retire.
He walked that back, but he did say that. You're right. Yeah.
He did say that. So I didn't hear him walk that back, but he did say, he did say that. So that means a guy is thinking about it could be over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's there. He's thinking about it. Guys change their mind. Some guys you play until you can't play anymore, or you play until you don't get any more offers. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of depends. But a guy like Jrue, if he's not in it, not that I think in fact, I think if he's there, he'll perform. But I just think from a Zach standpoint, you give. I think you extend Joel a couple more years because you have 2 young studs on the perimeter that can put up good numbers, can really kind of lower the demand per se from Joel.
Yeah. I also thought it was interesting too. Ramona Shelburne said that when she was talking about the possibility of us going after Jrue, she said she knows Philly is like dying for a lead offensive guard, which I thought was really interesting because Drew's a great player. I wouldn't call him an offensive guard, though, if I was describing him. I'd say he's a good all-around player and a good defensive leader.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on what you call lead offensive guard because he's a guy that's averaging, 16, 17, 18 points. Like,
19
what do you
7.
consider a lead off? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did he average? He averaged what?
19 and 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why, if James is that, why isn't he? And James averaged 19.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, we just don't view him the same way we view James because James has averaged 29, 30 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if they're averaging basically the same thing and we're still considering James to be that guy, then why can't Jrue be the same guy if he's averaging basically the same points?
Yeah. My other question was, does signing Jrue make us a contender right next to the Celtics and Bucks? Or are we a level below them? We're right there with them, you think? If we sign him?
Yeah, I would say I don't say that we don't drop off. I think that it's different than James, but I think that what he could give us, we could still compete. We could go to Boston. We can have confidence that, we can have someone that can maybe defend Tatum or one of them if they get warm.
Yeah, at least for a little bit.
At least for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So
slow him down.
No, I'm just saying. I just think that I still think that it may be look different, but I still think that we would be on that same level. I wouldn't be shocked that we beat those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
I think you'd fit based on what Nurse has done in the past, being a strong defensive teams and stuff, and having a longer kind of defensive guards. I think he'd fit right in with the Nurse team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I had a question though. So obviously the other teams that are rumored, the Clippers are rumored to be interested in Jrue Holiday. Boston Celtics are rumored. What would
Bulls,
be a worse? And Bulls too, but my question comes down to Clippers and Boston. What would be a worse outcome for the Sixers if the Clippers were to get Jrue Holiday, thus not needing James Harden anymore, or Boston getting Jrue Holiday and having to have him having to play him along with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum?
Boston.
Even though, like, if he goes to the Clippers, it pretty much ensures that we can't trade Harden, probably, unless someone comes out of nowhere and wants us.
No, I think you can trade Harden. I think you can trade James. I think they can trade James. I think there's some teams that'll take James. It's just about trading James where he wants to go.
Yeah,
I don't think the holdup in trading James has been the other teams. I think it's been what we want in return. Like I said before, we don't value guys in signing them, but we value them in trades.
The way to be.
Yes.
Well, apparently the report is that he'd have no interest in James Harden. Fans have speculated online, what about trading him to the Heat? That apparently the reports was the Heat have no interest in James Harden.
Someone also brought up the Kyle Neubeck today, actually. Someone said, well, what about Portland doing a deal straight up with Philly where they get Harden and then flip Harden for more assets like they're doing with Jrue? And he's like, I think he said they wouldn't find that likely because just Harden's too volatile. They wouldn't think they'd get more assets for him. So that sucks. That he's, created such image for himself as being like a no-nonsense guy that teams are like, I don't even think I can take him and flip him. Like, if he comes here and refuses to – because Jrue doesn't strike me as the kind of player that would just be like, I'm not going. I'm not going to show up. Whereas if Harden doesn't want to go somewhere, he might be like, I'm not going to Portland. Right? So –
yeah. That could be an issue. That's probably why it's a lot more teams that's coming after Jrue right now, and Portland's willing to move him. And I know if I'm Jrue Holiday, I'm like, man, let's make this, see what's out there, and let me get to camp. Let me move my family. Let me get to camp. Let me figure out what I'm going to do, and let's not string this out.
Yeah.
Eric, based on the teams that are interested with the Boston, Clippers, Heat, Sixers, what would be the best fit for Jrue Not the off the court stuff, but what do you think basketball scheme wise? What team would be the best fit for Jrue to come in right away?
I mean, it kind of depends. It kind of depends on like if he's getting moved, who he's getting moved for. You know what I'm saying? Like you say the Clippers would be great, but what if they moved one of their two best players? Like, is that really better? I think all teams involved, he actually fits. I think he could fit the mold for Boston with Marcus Smart gone. He definitely fits.
Mm-hmm.
And most likely they would move one of those other guards that they have there. Miami, we all know he fits. Philly, he could fit. We spoke about that, and then the Clippers. So I think he fits in all teams and makes them all better.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see how this is going to go.
That's why they're saying there's no shortage of suitors, because I think he's really easy. I think he's so easy to fit anywhere.
And there's no real dispute on if he's getting moved. Like they got him and they're like, we're not going to have you come here for this rebuild and we just drafted him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That we know we have to play. Like, we're not bringing you here for this. Let's just figure out what's going to be the best for you and us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all teams involved are willing to meet them. And I think Jrue is going to be moved for more picks than players. Like, I don't think these teams will have to give up necessarily big pieces to get it done. I think the difference with the Sixers and maybe some of those other teams is the Sixers have to move James to get him. And I don't think Portland would take James. So it had to be a third team. That's what probably makes it less likely. Where some of those other teams, it may not necessarily have to be a third team.
Yeah, they would just send him expiring contracts probably and picks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless the Sixers are moving Tobias also. I don't know.
Unless we tell Portland to wait till Jeremy Grant is trade eligible, and then we'll trade you Harden and Tobias for Jeremy Grant and Jrue Holiday.
But there's no way Jrue Holiday is his camp is like, we're going to wait till December. No way.
Yeah, no way. Nah, I know. Little wink deal. Maury loves those. Little wink. We'll trade you Tobias and a pick for Jeremy Grant in like a month, 2 months from now.
Yeah, we'll see. Be interesting. We'll see.
Well, fingers crossed.
We've heard about your wink deals, Daryl.
They don't exist. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, he had a little citrus in his eye. It was not a wink.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can be home for the holiday with getting Jrue.